Welcome to the Wood Sounds Shop. So glad to have you here, at least by video anyways. And frankly, would absolutely love to have you here in physical reality as well. We love doing what we do as Wood Sounds. We love being a part of the music you make, being a small part of the joy and beauty that you bring to the world through the music that you're creating. And thank you so much for that opportunity. Today we're going to talk about Dream Ambonia Burl. This is what's left of the slab currently. But before we get there, I'll just show you a little bit of some of the other flutes that we're working on. These three flutes here are all flutes that are inventory flutes. I'm really excited to share this one with you. This wood is a tulip wood, and what that means exactly, I'm not 100% certain yet to be able to share with you. But before I release the video about this flute, we'll be talking about this. I'm pretty sure this is a Myrtle Tulip from Australia, but I need to do a little research to make sure that's exactly where I got it. One of the problems with working with as many different woods as I do is it can get a little confusing sometimes figuring out, okay, where did that wood come from and what was it called again? But this one was clearly identified as tulip wood, and my shop manager had decided to make a couple of inventory flutes a month or two ago and had started these three, and this was one of them. This is Josh Fringer's design. He came up with this idea of doing this tulip for a totem. And Nathan Twitchell, a gentleman that does some carving with us and has for a few years now, did the totem. It is so cool because you got this yellow cedar burl inlaid, and then you have painted tulip blossoms. And I think it is just spectacular. He really did an amazing job. Really, really lovely. Anyways, we'll talk more about that flute and these other flutes later. These two flutes are here for repair. This flute, oh my goodness. I shouldn't be doing this because we're supposed to be talking about Dream Ambonia Burl. But when I got this flute back, this is a flute I made, it was probably 2006 or earlier. It's made from African blackwood. The body, the mouthpiece, all African blackwood. This white material is actually woolly mammoth ivory. And you can see this 20,000, 30,000 year old material has developed some cracks in it over the years since I made the carving. And then we got a cocobolo beak on the flute. All of this is woolly mammoth ivory. When I saw these inlays, I remember doing them, but it had been so long ago. When I got them back, I thought, are you kidding? Here, I think we've progressed so far, and then I see this that I made back in 2006 or earlier, and it completely blew my mind. I was like, are you kidding me? That is so incredible. And I think it's probably maybe I've done this once or twice, maybe 3 times, I can't recall, but it has absolutely stuck with me. It was super difficult to do and super, super, super rewarding. Super excited. So to repair this, I know it looks like such a tragedy to have that material crack, but when you remember that this material, and a huge part of the value of the material is the fact that it comes from a creature that has been dead and extinct for 20,000 years. That's where this material comes from. It was sitting in ice, got brought into a regular climate. I got it and carved it. And of course, you're gonna have issues over time. So to repair this, what I'll do is I'll take some other woolly mammoth ivory and I'll make some dust out of it with one of my sanders. And then I'll take that dust and I'll put it into these cracks here. And I'll basically inlay the cracks with woolly mammoth dust and then sand and polish. And when it's complete, it will be so beautiful. I'm super, super excited to work on it and was so pleased to see it. Just a magnificent creation from earlier days. This flute that's up on the ledge, just so you can see other things, is a flute for Peter Redfeather. And Peter is doing some performing and has a number of different albums out that you can check out. And he goes by Peter Redheart as well. And so while I was thinking about the flute, I had this idea of doing this inlay of a red heart with the silver and the turquoise. And I am so excited for Peter to get it. So excited. He's going to love it. Peter's got a regular gig that he does every week and has the opportunity to perform with lots of high-end folks in a beautiful way. He's sharing some lovely music with people. And every single flute here, in this batch of flutes here, these are all client flutes. And this is how it is here at Wood Sounds. We might have 1 or 2 flutes for inventory that we work on in a month. Everything else we make is made for you. It's made in the best way that we can, as fast as we're able. And I'm super, super pleased. So every flute that is here in this pile of flutes that we're working on is being made for a specific client. These are flutes that have been ordered by people. The flute that I'm actually holding is for George Torres, Screaming Eagle, AKA Screaming Eagle. George works as a Native American chaplain in the prison systems in Northern California. A very incredible man, beautiful heart, beautiful spirit, incredible beater, does beadwork that is so exquisite, absolutely exquisite work. And anyways, this flute is for him. This is going to be a low C, and going to be very excited to work on it. There's some fun things that I get to do with this. This flute I'm super, super excited about too. This, the wood on this flute is bloodwood. I don't use bloodwood a lot. I love the look of it. I love the color, but it does have a propensity to crack when it gets wet, which is a problem for making flutes. Because obviously as a flute maker, I want your instruments to last not just your lifetime, your children's lifetime, their children's lifetime, and on. Yeah, I mean, come on, it's my only shot at immortality that I figure I got. So, but to help with the longevity of the instrument, what we actually do, this is Zeracody. This is going to be one of the balance flutes. Super gorgeous wood, incredible landscapey. Look at the, here, let me turn this around. Look at the landscapey nature of that grain. Super gorgeous. But this wood also has a propensity to crack. And so what we'll do on this flute, and what we did on the bloodwood flute, is we'll create the slow air chamber. We'll drill in here all the way back to about right there, about a 1/2 inch of solid materials left. We'll drill that in, and we'll drill it in with roughly a 7/8 inch diameter bit. And then we'll insert into that hole that we just created a maple dowel. And the maple handles the moisture very well, comparatively. And so that maple is going to be what's going to experience the moisture change in the slow air chamber so that the Zeracody doesn't. And it will protect that Zeracody from potentially cracking. It's been a really great solution. Been using it for years on Zeracody, bloodwood, snakewood, and a few other woods that just have that propensity for cracking. You know, for us here at Wood Sounds, it is all about creating instruments that will last, that will create music beyond our lifetime, and add a little bit more beauty to the world. So back to the Dream Ambonia Burl. We cut up all the blanks for flutes that we currently have on order. This is a couple of them here that we can show you. And then what's left of that Dream Ambonia Burl, what's currently available to you if you're interested, is roughly 4, maybe 6 flutes. I have this marked out. If these were all mid-G, we would get 5 flutes from it, no problem. If we are going to end up doing a deeper flute, you know, like a bass A or even lower, that's going to change this whole layout completely. This is just here to help us get an idea of what kind of real yield we're going to be able to get out of this Burl. You guys, I got to show you this. So here's the thing. I have spent, I'm going to guess, now Pablo's doing the shooting on this video and he may laugh when I say this, but I'm going to guess that I've spent at least 10 hours every single day for the last, well, I don't know how many days, but for the last number of days in order to complete a full body Dream Ambonia Burl. And that flute was ordered by a gentleman in October. In October, I didn't actually even have the Dream Ambonia Burl, didn't even know it was there or even an option. In early November, I became aware of the Dream Ambonia Burl, and I talked to Dimitri. I says, Dimitri, we need to change your flute to this wood. This is what you're after. And he was like, are you sure? I said, yes. It's going to be a while before I get it. I didn't get this Burl until February. I said, it's going to be a while before I can get the Burl. And once I get it, that Burl's got to rest. It's got to acclimate. The humidity in the Burl has got to change. The moisture content in the Burl's got to be able to acclimate to the current environment here in Utah. It came from Thailand and it had been cut in Thailand. Gosh, I think the last time I talked to Tung, it was, I think it was 4 years ago that he got the Burl. That doesn't mean that's when the tree was cut, but that's when he got the Burl. And so it's been down long enough and been drying long enough that it should be ready to work with into material. But when I got it, I could feel the moisture in it. I could just feel it, the coolness to the touch that the wood was creating because of the moisture. And so we let it rest. Oh, as much as I wanted to make a flute from it that very first moment I got it, we let it just rest for a while. I did make the one Dream flute from it that we cooked in the oven, but this wood is now 100% ready to work. And so we're beginning all those Dream Ambonia Burl flutes. I am so excited for them to get them. One of the ones I'm most excited about is Joy Harjo. Joy Harjo is currently the Poet Laureate of the United States. She has been, I believe it was in 2019, might have been 2020. She was appointed to that seat. And Joy is a fabulous musician. She plays saxophone, she's a poet, has beautiful spoken word. And when I sent out one of the last Dream Ambonia videos, she said, all right, Brent, you wore me down. I can't do it anymore. I gotta have one of those Dream Ambonia Burl flutes. And so we're doing a high F flute for her, and I can hardly wait. I actually think this is her blank right here. And so can't hardly wait for her to get that flute. Joy is an incredible musician and an incredible artist. And if you don't know her already, I highly recommend you go check her out. She's someone worth looking into. She was the first Native American ever appointed Poet Laureate of the United States, which I think is it's beautiful. I love it. Absolutely love it. You know, as I lean over on this wood and I really start looking into the grain, this line, look at this line. Look at the color there, that darkness. You got that almost black color that follows that line. You got this really dark burl, a little lighter burl over here coming, all this crazy stuff. And because of the flute that we finished this weekend, I know what it's gonna look like and I wanna share it with you. You want a sneak peek? Let me present to you the first full body Dream Ambonia Burl flute that has ever been created. The finish on this flute is as perfect as I've ever been able to make. the Dream Ambonia Burl, frankly, has driven me to seek greater perfection in the work that we do. It is so flat, that finish is so flat, the reflection creates the straightest lines I've ever seen because of how flat it is. And what that does for me when I look at it is it allows me to truly see into the grain. I'm not just seeing the surface of it. The light penetrates deeper than the surface of the wood, and it reflects back at you, and you can see depth, almost like you could reach in and touch those fibers that are, you know for a fact, are deeper than the surface of the wood. It is so beautiful. And this color right here, that is what this is going to be. All of this incredible color and grain and difference, all of it, all through here. All of this incredible grain is going to be this. Pablo was just saying that as incredible as this flute is, and oh my goodness, it is, the color variations in here are even more dramatic than what's in this flute. The fact is, and Pablo actually has one of the flutes that came from this Dream Ambonia Burl. Frankly, the gentleman behind the camera is the reason this wood is actually even available. The cost of it was so much, it scared the hell out of me. I was just like, oh my goodness, I can't do that. But I just had a feeling. I had a feeling it was going to be worth doing. And Pablo happened to be here shooting some video with me. And he was so right. So, to that end, let me share something else with you. This flute is called Connection. Pablo and I have been working on some marketing videos, and he's helped me with, he redesigned the Wood Sounds logo, the YouTube outro video that you see with all the different wood sound flutes flashing through. That was Pablo's creation. And he's really helped me a great deal in being able to articulate and communicate effectively to my clients what we're doing and what we're trying to do, and the spirit of wood sounds to you, to bring that to you. And he's been incredibly helpful in that regard. This is a low C sharp double flute with the easy clean mouthpiece. Look at that. Just look at that. Oh my God. It's amazing. The cream material you see there is actually Walrus Jawbone. The Walrus Jawbone, I love the story of the Walrus Jawbone because it comes from, in fact, we have a piece of that jaw right here. Here's a raw piece of that jawbone so you can see it. And this jawbone here, the walrus that owned this jawbone, that was part of this jawbone, fed some Inuit family. And then many, maybe hundreds of years later, a new family finds the midden heap of that previous family, brings out the bones from what they had thrown away as trash, and sell it to creators like myself. So this animal, this walrus, has been dead for well beyond my lifetime. And allows us to use this organic material in such a beautiful way that I love, because it had nothing to do with harming any creature that was living, and had to do rather with feeding a family that was digging through their ancestral midden heaps for bones. I gotta tell you, I think that is a perfect circle of life. Absolutely beautiful. And I feel so grateful to be able to use such gorgeous materials like this in the creation of flutes. Done in as respectful and thoughtful a way as we possibly can. Look at that double. My God, look at the colors here. Seriously, look at that line in between the orange and the cream. Oh my goodness. To me, these things are a marvel. Every time I pick up one of an instrument that I actually had a part in the creation of, I'm blown away. And a big part of that being blown away comes from the fact that I know I didn't make that wood. This isn't my jaw. It's somebody else's jaw. I didn't make those materials. Creator, God, whatever you want to call it, provided these materials, created the opportunity for us to be able to do this kind of work with. And I feel so grateful to have them, to be able to work into exquisite instruments. Now, I got to tell you about this wood right here. I tell you, one of the woods I get asked about the most, and I have to tell people, I'm sorry, we just can't do that, is Hunter and Rosewood Burl. Oh, and just as a little by the way, before I go into that story, these are not the actual totems for the flute. Pablo's here for another week or so, and we're working on the totems, the actual totems for this flute. We'll be sharing those with you in a video probably tomorrow. But this Hunter and Rosewood Burl, it's really hard to get, especially since 2017. There still are a few people in the country that have a supply of this wood because they stockpiled it. But in 2017, the CITES regulations on rosewood made this wood virtually impossible to import. It's extremely delicious to the eye, and acoustically, fabulous. And visually, this burl, these two pieces of burl, they came from the same burl. They are the top cuts out of that burl. They're amazing. What a treasure it is to me as someone who works with organic materials like the burls, like the bone, to be able to have access to materials that are so exquisite, that are so lovely and have so much potential, and to be able to create them into instruments. It is, for me, just the process of working with them is so fulfilling and gratifying, and knowing that they're going into hands that are going to fall in love with what they see, and then fall in love with what they hear, and then reach into themselves and project their emotion through a tool that we made. Thank you. I love you very much. If you're interested in a Dream Ambonia Burl flute, let me know. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thank you for playing our flutes. Whether you're dreaming of your first native flute or wanting to create some custom instrument, Wood Sounds is where your dreams can be made real. My name is Brent Haynes, and you can reach me at 801-822-1415 or brent@woodsounds.com. Have a great day.